Hi everybody, I'm here with Montana Black. We went to UNLV together as students, and she's an artist here in Las Vegas. Here's one of her paintings, and we're gonna look at her paintings and talk about them a little bit, hear the stories. Okay, I really like this painting here. Can you tell me something about this painting?
This is an older piece from my Human Angel series. And once again, in this one, I like the idea of putting three-dimensional images on kind of a flat background, because they're not in a physical space, they're in a mental space. They're in my mental space. So I didn't make it so that it was discernible. So they're on a grid, and I used pencil and oil medium to draw these figures out.
And he has a halo kind of?
Yeah, and he's
wings.
also got wings. So my intention was to talk about the fact that the human condition, who and what we actually are, is pretty elevated and divine, in my view. People don't always act that way, but that's our true nature. It's something a little bit greater than what we understand.
And the gorilla also has a halo.
The gorillas also, every form has this halo, has a nimbus,
Jeff
has a...
does not have a halo.
Oh, Jeff has a halo, absolutely. All beings do. And, yeah, so I just wanted to touch on those themes that, it doesn't matter. Form is distracting, and it can distract us from, I think, what's actually occurring, which is pretty spectacular. So yeah, all these people are interacting with the natural world in a mutually beneficial way. So everybody's in symbiosis and hopeful. And all the figures in this particular series of paintings, Human Angels, are people that I know, because I wanted them to be people. I didn't want to use models. I didn't want to use people that society would think of, oh, well, those are the beautiful people. Because we all are the beautiful people. University Medical Center.
So
They're all my Human
this painting
Angels.
is in the...
This painting, this piece, they're big, large reproductions.
And they're in the where?
They're in the University Medical Center. The county hospital.
Oh, nice.
In the lobby. Yeah.
It seems like a good thing to be in.
Amazing opportunity to have my work here.
Okay, so you have this painting. You said this painting is about your mother.
Yes.
Can you explain how?
Yes. I'm fooling around with the idea of portraiture in this as being something other than just a person's face. So my mother loved road trips. She loved the Mojave, so I've got kind of this faux photograph, and I've got She's Leaving as a reference to the Beatles song, or She's Leaving Home. Cardinals are symbolized, songbirds symbolize freedom. The socks are about home. And Ghost Child is basically my mother, because she had a rough childhood. And I wanted to kind of talk about other elements of her. These are marbles. And this is all on a faux, this is all done in oil. So this blackboard effect is intentional, because I wanted to fool around with the idea of putting three-dimensionality on a flat surface, but also talk about that these are ideas. So these are ideas I'm writing down, I'm erasing them, I'm putting them back on, I'm changing the formula. What do I want to talk about here? So this was basically a tribute to my mom.
So you can do a portrait of somebody that isn't a picture of them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Maybe that's something we should do.
And it's fascinating. What makes a person a person to you? Because that might not even be the person. It's what do you see when you see this person? What comes up?
So these down here remind me of what you did in college.
Yes, they're my still life paintings that I just have been experimenting with lately and working with a limited palette. So
What do you mean by limited palette?
limited, I mean basically I'm working with 3 colors, so yellow, blue, red, and I mix everything from that. And
So you
then
made
also a
all
little bit of
these
white.
colors with the primary colors,
The primary
kids.
colors.
How many
Yeah.
times have I told them that?
And then a little bit of white, but I don't use any black out of the tube. And
We weren't allowed to use black in college, right?
we weren't.
No.
And I'm trying to again get more familiar with how to work with color, like darks, lights, values, and highlights, and all those things that make it work. If you get your values right, it actually doesn't matter what color you use; it will work. But if you're trying to, if a lot of the great artists that I love to follow also had their own particular color palette that they would use, and I find that exciting. So follow me, kids.
All right. And we have Jeff making noise. He came with.
So color palettes basically are these. So in each one of these I've mixed all the colors out of 3 primaries. So this one was yellow ochre, cadmium red medium, and ivory black. So you get this really nice earthy color palette. And this is brighter ketones, and you can fool around with the shade of blue. Blue can be cold, it can be warm. Same with, you could use, black could be your blue as well. So it's all kinds of fun ways. Once you get deep in color, it's really endless. And I find I actually like doing these color palettes just to see, okay, what would happen? What kind of mood am I trying to do? And how do I get, what is the main color of, say, like a painting like this, right? This is a plein air painting I did outdoors. So a lot of it's greens, a lot of it's earthy greens. Where would I find that? That would be like, you know, these kind of colors. A lot more warmth, a lot more vibrancy. So yes, I've been excited about color in my journey lately. Hello. So again, this is I like working with the natural world and talking about the divinity of all things. But this is done with gouache on paper. And what I'm doing with these is instead of making all the elements on one canvas or board, I'm making them on different surfaces, and they'll be dimensional. So it'll be like a shadow box.
Oh, okay. So these will end up in
Eventually,
like,
so
kind of
yeah, this is
3D almost.
3D, yeah. So it'll be a 3D, and I'm doing a whole series of Mojave-based animals.
Nice.
So, show to
That's
be
really
determined. So I'm
That'll
just
be really neat.
I have this little setup to kind of experiment with how that looks, and I like it so far.